stream and make sure the stream is actually streaming. And I'm going to refresh the page because I don't feel like waiting. And is it going? It's working. Yay. All right. And Dementia Radio now. And recording in 3, 2, 1.
Recorded live on DementiaRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast. Brought to you by FuMP.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Hey, Devo Spice!
Hey, Luke Ski!
Who is on the show with us this week, sir?
That would be John C. Ardussi. How you doing, John?
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Yes.
Welcome specifically to episode 844 of the Funny Music Podcast for Thursday, August 20th, 2026. The title of this week's episode is Noiseless Pocket. And I forgot to pull up the chat window, so I'm going to put the chat window over there. And I'll put that title in the chat, and you can refer to it later. Try to figure out how to work that into our conversations. So, let's do the catch-up thing.
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke bailed and didn't show up.
Hey, what? Oh, he's right.
So, Luke, what you been up to?
Well, that space just there, that was a noiseless pocket.
God damn it.
Let's just get it out of the way.
Yes.
Well, let me look at my calendar. It's the only way I remember anything I've done.
You legitimately scared me with that pause. I thought you were going to say you got fired.
No, if I got fired, you'd be hearing the Kid and Play song Funhouse playing while there's confetti and I'm doing dances. That's my... Please fire me. See, here's the thing. If I quit, I can't collect unemployment.
Right, yeah.
So please, for the love of God, fire me. And, not that I think anybody listens from my workplace, or they probably would have, taken legal action against me, which is why I changed people's names. Anyway, what has happened of significance since last week? It was Tony Goldmark's birthday on Tuesday, so I went and hung out with him and his friends at Cantor's, had a little meal there. Santana returned on Tuesday. My roommate, Santana, who pays me, money every month to live in this space and have access to electricity and water and internet and all that stuff. She pays me for this. She came back Tuesday. She's leaving Saturday.
Dude, she is like the perfect roommate. Seriously. Like,
I mean, the thing is, though, I like hanging out with her. She shows up less often than Uncle Traveling Matt on Fraggle Rock. What the hell? Anyway, it's fine. But the reason she came back is that she's been doing voiceover for an anime that is going to be. She forgot which streaming service it was. It's one of the big ones though. It's either like Hulu or Netflix. This series that she's doing voices on. She thought it was only 12 episodes. Apparently, it got expanded to 23 episodes.
Oh,
so
cool.
She came back to do some more voiceover, but then she has to get back out on the road to work for Fan Expo and be all across the country and go back to Orlando where her business partner is, and yeah, just things are nuts. But at least I've had some chance to hang out with her. We went on my day off yesterday. Kind of turned into let's take care of errands all day, like both mine and hers. I got my new glasses, which are, you can't probably tell in this light, but they are blue. They're just thinner frames and a little bit wider, which I think is good. Her main thing is, her snake Star-Lord, the one that lives here, the one that she pays rent for to live here when she's gone for months at a time.
That's why she's paying rent, is for Star-Lord. It has nothing to do with her living there.
Yes, Star-Lord, the Colombian rainbow boa, gets to live the sweet life here in Burbank, California. So his tank, which is the one that she's had the whole time, is like about 18 inches high, 18 inches deep, and 3 feet wide. And he's getting to be a much larger snake now. So she decided she wanted to go to the reptile pet place and get a new tank that's 4 feet wide. so it wasn't just about getting the tank. It was also about going to Target and getting another piece of furniture to put down on the end of the current piece of furniture, so it's wide enough to hold the whole thing up. And then once we did all that, we had to go. We tried to set it down. And we realized, oh wait, if we do that, it's going to be resting on the glass of the bottom thing and not on the actual metal struts it's supposed to be. So that's dangerous. So then we went to Home Depot to get a piece of, 1/2-inch plywood cut into 18 by 4 feet so that she could put that underneath so we know it's safe. So she so now Star-Lord is chilling in a new, much larger tank, and the old tank is currently sitting on my table right over there. To which she said, "Yeah, I'll clean that up before I leave." It's like, okay, but the other part is, now I'm stuck with this tank. And she was like, "Well, you could just sell it on eBay and ship it to somebody, right?" I'm like, "Do you know how much money it would cost to ship that?" Like, it would be prohibitively expensive, and that it would make more sense to try to sell it in a place like Facebook Marketplace, just to be like, "Hey, Burbank, California, 3 foot wide, reptile tank, whatever, $50, and you have to come get it yourself, or something like that, just so that, I don't have to worry about packing it or transporting it or any of that shit, or even carrying it downstairs." So I'll have to deal with that at some point. But anyway, just been taking care of business on my 2 days off, trying to force myself to get out of bed and be productive, because it's the only time I have. I also posted this week the on my Patreon for those followers this month's Lukeski Monthly Mixtape Madness, which has a unique concept. It is the theme is mood music, which is all songs that either put me in a specific mood or songs that when I'm in a specific mood I want to hear those songs, and it kind of runs the gamut of emotions. Just because I thought it would be an interesting premise for an episode. So there you go. And then what else did I do? I guess the last thing I should mention is our weekly update. So play the thing. And now the continuing drama of Lukeski's workplace. Okay, so I've been working there 11 and a half months, and there's all kinds of machines there, and they go by initials. There's the HSUS machine, there's the RBUS, RBUS, there's the APBS machines, and and there's other areas that have proper names like, there's the North Dock, and there's the West Dock, and blah, blah, blah. So, but yeah, 11 and a half months, I've worked, I think I've worked pretty much everywhere a little bit. Maybe not having done every single possible job there, but I've seen the whole facility, and I've worked around the whole facility over the past 11 and a half months. So, what did I decide her name was? Katrina? It began with a K. My new supervisor. I'm going to go with Katrina, just because I think that's what I went with. Yeah. And so the other day, she's like telling people like what everyone's going to do, and she says a bunch of stuff, and she says something I don't quite understand, but I think what she said was that me and a bunch of other people were supposed to go over to the low-cost trace sorter area to set up things for that, which is something we've done a lot lately first thing in the morning. So I went over and do that. I start working on it, and I'm there for, 5-10 minutes doing things, and then she finally comes back over, and she's like, "Luke," I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "I told you to go to Spibs." I'm like, "What?" Because I genuinely thought that I was hearing things wrong. She said, "You're supposed to go to Spibs." And I said, "What is Spibs?" and she said, "APBS." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I go get my stuff over there, and I'm walking like, what the heck is Spibs? I've never heard that term before the whole time I've worked there. And I walked around all day looking for something that had the word Spibs written on it to figure out what that was. Never found it all day. The next day, she says again that I'm supposed to go work Spibs. Well, at least now I know what that means. And I go back over there and I find someone who I know works there a lot. I'm like, do you know what Spibs means? And they're like, yeah, oh, I forgot. I can't remember, blah, blah, blah. And then they had to call somebody else for what does it stand for? And it stands for Small Parcel Bundle Sorter. So SPBS. So once I knew that, I looked all around that damn machine for the letters SPBS to know that that's where Spibs came from. I didn't see it anywhere on that damn machine. So it drives me nuts when people say stuff and act like I'm the idiot. You know, it's like, you know, oh, you don't know what Spibs means? It's like, you came from another facility. It's, you know, maybe your facility has the word Spibs on the machine, but they don't have it here. So, and then that same person, and I'll go into detail on the thing later during plugging time. Bonnie reached out to me, Bonnie Gordon of the Library Bards, and also of being Bonnie Gordon, who is awesome. She reached out to me because she's putting together a show kind of at the last minute for the at the Flappers Comedy Club in Burbank for Sunday afternoon, the 23rd, where basically it's going to be, I think, around a 1 hour show where it's like people doing comedy songs and stand up that's all on the theme of Star Trek. And she wanted to know if I could be there to perform in it. And I'm like, yeah, let me put a request in to see if I can get that, either a half day or a full day off for that. Because that's the only way I can make it, because it's 5 p.m. and I work from 11:30 to 8:15. So I get the form. I get the form from Kirby. I go to fill it out and turn it into Kina at the end of the day of the 14th. And she sees that I'm trying to fill that out, and she just says, well, why don't you turn that in tomorrow morning, instead of right now? And I was like, okay, Katrina, I'll do that. And then, crap, I just realized I think I said both of their real names. Oh, well. I doubt they're going to hunt me down. Anyway, so I show up the next day. Katrina, I turn it into her, and I'm sorry. I turned it into Kirby the next morning because Kirby was still there. And Kirby's like, okay, great, I'll go take care of this, and then I go off to work. And then by the end of the day, I haven't heard anything. The next morning, I still haven't heard anything, and they're supposed to submit or get those done within 24 hours, or else they're supposed to automatically be approved. So 24 hours has gone by. I haven't heard anything, so I assume it's automatically approved. But later in the day, because Bonnie was texting me, I went to Katrina and I said, hey, has that been approved? And she just kind of looked at me like, whoa, like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, I submitted a 39 yesterday to the Star Fox there. What is the, I need to find out if it's been approved. And she turns and looks on her desk, and it's sitting right there on her desk with other 39s that people have turned in. And she just kind of ruffles through it and looks at what it is. She's like, well, that's probably not going to get approved anyway because it's for a Sunday and we're shorthanded on Sundays. And I'm just looking at her like, it's not your decision. It's like Star Fox took it, signed off on it, and handed it over to you because you're the main supervisor so that you could turn it over to Hank so that he can approve it. So you were supposed to do that and you haven't. But, if I say anything, I'm going to be the one who's viewed as insubordinate.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of like, okay. And I went back and, by the end of that day, nothing. Next day, I run into Hank 3 times throughout the day to just check in. He happens to come by the Spibs area and I check in with him. And by the end of the day, he still hadn't gotten that from Katrina. And he said, who gave this to you? I'm like, or who did you turn it into? I'm like, to Star Fox. Like, okay, well, I'll hook up with Star Fox tomorrow and we'll get it taken care of. And then, so now it's Tuesday morning, and over the course of that morning, the two of them got together and they got it approved. So basically, because Katrina is, for whatever reason, not willing to do her job and follow through on the things that have been contractually agreed to by the union regarding asking for time off, Bonnie had to wait an extra 3 days at least to find out whether or not I was going to be in this show, while she and the club are waiting to do promotions and want to know what names they can put in there.
Yeah.
So, again, all the more reason that another thing, in the Spibs area, they bring all these bundled things of magazines or whatever together that are on pallets and wrapped thoroughly in saran wrap and covered with all these big, heavy, like, what are they called? Like, kind of like little flat temporary belts that they can put on things, and I have to like cut through them. And I have this little tiny crappy box cutter. It's like a Fisher Price box cutter. It's so pathetic. And I have to cut through all this stuff. And the other day I'm like, you know what? And I'm glad that we had to go to Home Depot because I was able to take care of it. I went out and I bought a actual good box cutter with extra box cutter blades, the Milwaukee brand. And I also bought a Milwaukee brand pair of like kind of industrial work scissors. So now I have my own pair of scissors and my own box cutter. And it's actually kind of a switchblade box cutter so that when you're not using it, you can close it so it's safe. And I know other people have those. I'm curious about the scissors, though. I'm kind of guessing that if anybody notices me with the scissors, they're probably going to tell me that I'm not allowed to have scissors because it's too big and pointy and potentially stabby or something like
probably,
that.
yeah.
So that's kind of a preview for the future of whether or not Luke's going to get in trouble for bringing scissors into the workplace. So anyway, I will shut the hell up about all of that. What has been up with you?
Well, I had another callback on Sunday. I had to go back to New York City again. Starting to wonder if I should just move there, but it went well. This was a much less formal callback than the other ones I've been doing lately. This is just a indie production, so I was there with the director and the producer, who the director was also the writer, and met with her. We went over the scene a couple times, and then we just chatted for like a half an hour. And turns out she used to do parody songs, so we got talking about that. Haven't heard anything since then, so we'll see if anything comes of it, but, And on Friday, I did some filming for my mockumentary. I went out to Rockaway and filmed a, like, man-on-the-street reporter scene where I had the reporter and the person she was interviewing. And it went well, and it came out good. I have the final thing. But this was kind of the point where I realized that any future films I make, I'm going to hire a crew. I'm going to get a cinematographer who has a good camera and knows how to use it. And I'm going to get someone with lighting and sound who know how to do it. Because, I'm just kind of fumbling my way through. Like, when we started, the whole scene was overexposed, and I could not figure out how to change the exposure on the camera. As the sun set, it fixed itself, so the last few takes were good. But then, like, the sound, I have these really fancy lavalier mics that I bought, and I couldn't figure out how to... There's two wireless lav mics, and then there's a receiver. And I'm like, I know the receiver connects to my laptop somehow because I can record that there because that's how I did it last time. I could not remember how it connected. And I'm like, I thought it was Bluetooth or maybe it was Wi-Fi. And I'm like, none of that's working. No, it turns out it's USB-C. It actually plugs into the freaking laptop. And I completely forgot until I got home. And I was like, oh, yeah. But thankfully, I set up the lav mics to record themselves because they both have built-in memory. So, like, they were recording the whole time. So one of them was fine. The girl who played the reporter, I didn't realize it, but she put the lav mic, like, into her shirt. So it was her entire recording was all muffled. So as a backup, I had used a little shotgun mic on top of the camera to just record everything, including all the environmental sounds and everything. So that was the audio I used. And I was able to clean it up so the background noise, the environment, like, I wanted you to hear cars driving by and dogs barking and stuff because it is a man on the street interview, but I didn't want it to be that loud. So what I did was I cleaned up the audio and layered it on top of the original audio, but the original audio is at like 30%, so it's very soft. But so you can hear them clearly talking, and then faintly in the background you can hear a car driving past and you can hear people walking by and stuff. It works. It's all fine, and the shot came out great. But like I dodged like 4 bullets there. Like that could have been a complete disaster. And I have a whole bunch more filming to do on this project, but I spent some time with the camera. Now I know how to fix the exposure and everything that I was looking for, so.
See, that's the thing nobody ever talks about. It's like everyone's like, yeah, DIY, woo. It's like DIY sucks. It's like you literally have to do everything yourself, and
not only that, you have to be good at every step of the process. And if any one part of it falls down, like me with marketing, it's like a house of cards, and that one thing doesn't work, nothing else works. It's
like there needs to be an acronym, DWABOP, do it with a bunch of people. And also, I wanted to mention it. I know there's probably more detail to the story out there if people want to Google it, but one time Jim Henson was doing a news interview, with Kermit, Jim Henson is playing Kermit the Frog. Some news person interviewing Kermit the Frog. The sound guy put the lav mic on the frog. And later, the news guys had to apologize. We apologize for the low sound quality. Our sound person put the mic on the frog. Like, no, the voice is down here. That's how
funny.
Magical Jim Henson was. He made the sound man believe.
That's funny. So, John, welcome to the show.
Yay. Hi.
Get to listen to us blab about our lives for half an hour.
I have a fun story, just a little relates, real short one.
Sure.
I got handed a movie and was told to edit the movie. And in one of the scenes, they left the microphone in the car's trunk. And she was like, well, can you fix it? I was like, there's no audio. How do you fix it? I've got the trunk of a car. I don't think I can turn that into dialogue.
The first short film I made, I forgot that sound was a thing I had to do. Like literally. I had lights, I had a camera, and I filmed it. And then I went to edit it, and I was like, I can't use any of this audio because it was all just the little mic that's built into the camera. That's the only thing you heard. So I had to ADR everything, every sound effect, every piece of dialogue was all added in post. Thankfully, I'm good at that. Audio editing I can do. So nobody could tell. But man, it was a lot of work.
Did you ever see the movie Birdemic?
Birdemic. Was that the one with the invisible creature that you had to keep your eyes closed?
No. It was the guys from Riff Tracks did it at one of their live shows. It was really, really horrible movie, like about like birds attacking, like. Imagine somebody tried to remake Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds using technology from 20 years ago on their laptop. Okay. Like, that's what it looked like.
Okay.
But there was, because the guys had to explain to the audience, so that watching it on the Riff Tracks live thing, that there'd be like dialogue, and it's kind of like audio tape hiss that kind of like, that's in the background of like, oh, dialogue is happening, but there's that noise.
Yeah.
And then they would, and then whenever there was no dialogue, they would just cut to mute, so there would be no noise. And then when somebody starts talking again, it would kick back in with the noise. So there would be these weird audio jumps, jump scares of ambient hiss noise. It was weird.
See, when I ADR'd my film, I actually added the sounds of a motel room air conditioner to the background. So there's this low hum throughout the film, and it actually pans in stereo. So as the camera moves around, the sound follows where the air conditioner actually is in the room. Nobody cares. Like, nobody cares. But I did it.
That's Oscar material.
Yeah, right? I should have won Best Sound Design for that 9-minute horror film I did.
Awesome.
And the Oscar for Best Thing Filmed While Your Son's at a Swim Meet.
Yes, thank you. We got completely off track there. John, what were you talking about?
Hey, hadn't started yet. So, Yeah, I just wanted to give you like a little bit of the update of what I did because it's different than most of your people. I've watched a bunch of your guys' stuff, and most of the people you come on here are musicians and create the stuff. Well, that's not what I did. I worked for 30 years in the game industry, and I was writing down scripts of what had happened to me, um, basically based on the fact that when I would tell people that I worked in the game industry, their first thing was, what can they do to help their kid get into the game industry? And I said, well, I'm writing scripts, which basically are going to convince your kid that he probably doesn't want to work in the game industry because it's not really the nicest industry. Um, there's always pressure in the game industry. Somebody else might show up who wants less money and is easier to work with and would love your job. So you're always fighting that, that you're not indispensable. It's not one of those cases where it's like, when you're a professor or something, it's kind of hard to replace. In the game industry, it's pretty easy to replace. So I took those scripts and started to work on a TV show. My game company that I had built was called Game Mechanics, and I thought that would be a really great title for a TV show.
Yeah,
because it's the idea that you're working on games, but you're also a mechanic in the way that you build a game, you send it out, it comes back broken, you fix it, and then you send it back out again. So you're kind of like a mechanic that works on games. So game mechanics, and it also has the double meaning of the actual phrase game mechanics. Mm-hmm. So so I started working on that. And then somebody came to me and said, if you wrote songs, then you could use those to promote the TV show. Because one of the things I have to do is I have to raise money to get the show made. And it's like, well, how do I raise awareness? Because the first thing they say is if you're gonna try and raise money, you're gonna want people to know about your show. Yeah. So you don't want to do a Kickstarter, with nobody having any idea that it's coming. When you do the successful Kickstarters are always, they have
pre-existing audiences to at least a certain degree. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's when the music came in. So I started writing lyrics to songs, and it was like easy. I just wrote about the different departments and that I'd worked with and stuff. But about half of the songs were kind of funny comedy songs, and half were kind of serious. And I kind of felt like, well, that's about right, because that's kind of what I want for the TV show is that not only is it they're going to be comedy, it's kind of a combination of, if well, everybody knows Big Bang Theory, so that it kind of part that, but the other part would be like a Silicon Valley, if you ever saw that TV show.
Yeah.
So it was more serious and no laugh track and that kind of thing. So take some of that and merge it in with the Big Bang Theory, and that's kind of what I'm aiming at there. So I had these lyrics to the songs, and I was like, what do I do with them? I'm a not serious musician. I'm kind of just a guy who played third chair trombone in the marching band. But I can write music, and I have written music, and I wrote down some stuff, and then I took what I had and I gave it to some guys on Fiverr. I got a vocals and producers, and to produce the music part of it, and what they came back with was shockingly amazing. I mean, it was way better than I ever thought it would be. And so I was like, okay, well, now I had about 11 songs, and I'm like, well, 11's a bad number. I should make it 12. So I did a cover song of a song that I thought fit in with my show, and I actually have now written into season 2 that I'm going to use that song later in the show if I ever get it made. But I was like, well, I don't want to make this an album of season 1 because I may never get season 1 or season 2 made. So I just want to put it out there. And so it's everything's out there. It's all good. And we're moving forward with that. One of the things I wanted to point out about this song in particular that you guys are featuring is that I first heard it on Dr. Demento like 40 years ago. And I was like, oh, that's a great song. But it was before Napster and before MP3s and before all that stuff. So I had it on a cassette where I recorded the Dr. Demento show. And I didn't have it on any digital format. So years later, I was like, I need to find the song. And so right around year 2000, I went looking and found his name. The guy who wrote it is Michael Stephen Peace, Peace. And he's still on Facebook and posting in YouTube and stuff. He's still working there. And so I went to him and said, hey, do you mind if I do some stuff with your song? And I wrote up an agreement, and he agreed, and he cashed a check, and so he's gotten paid, and I get the rights to do stuff with the song. And it's not 100% because there was a style for songs back in the early 80s for these comedy songs, and what he did fit in perfectly for the time, but it wouldn't fit in perfectly now. You'd listen to it now and go, it's kind of thin, that. But yeah, I mean, there's no way to write a song that's going to be good 40 years later. Necessarily, if you can do that, you can probably do a lot of other things that we can't even imagine right now. So, I rewrote the music a little bit, and but I merged in a lot of his stuff. I always tell him that the bass structure of the song is brilliant because it does stuff like repeats all you want to do is play games. It repeats it multiple times. It plays with stuff and things and repeats. And it's just when I was done, it was fun. And what was funny was the first person I played the song to, he said, you should play this on Dr. Demento. I said, well, there's a problem with that.
Yeah.
Because he decided to retire before my song is finished. And
unfortunately, yes.
Because I was literally working on it in September and October and going, oh, no, can he just hang on for 6 more months, please? So I asked people, and I said, well, then what do I do with the song? And they mentioned your guys' name and said, you guys are the kind of successors to that audience and a good place that people have found a home to go to for these kinds of songs.
It's good. Glad to hear that.
So, and you guys are the first ones who are actually featuring this and doing a big deal. So you get to get credit for discovering it if it actually takes off and does things. If it doesn't take off and do anything, you can deny.
If it doesn't take off, you can blame us. So that
there you go.
All right. So why don't we give it a listen, and then we can talk about it some more. Here is "All I Want to Do Is Play Games" by Perky, Pete, and the Mechanics.
To go to meet her parents. She has to move in with me next year. She wanted a monogram towel set. I said I need to make sure one thing is clear. Any other guy would have caved in, bought a house, picked out baby names. 'Cause she was so smart, so sweet and so funny. But all I wanna do is play games. Yeah, all I wanna do is play games. All I wanna do is play games. She might think that I'm kinda lame, 'cause all I wanna do is play games. She slipped on something lacy and some perfume, lit a candle and turned down the light. She asked me to come and sit beside her. but the kill count was getting too tight. Any other guy would have dropped it, turned it off with style and grace. But she was so hot and so ready, so willing. One more game, I'm still in first place. Yes, all I wanna do is play games. All I wanna do is play games. My love just went up in flames, but all I wanna do is play games. She packed up her things the next morning, left a note, a goodbye and a tear. But I just unlocked a new weapon, and my first response was a humongous cheer. She's dating a young guy with a pension, friar guy that sometimes works buffet. Me, I've got a fridge stocked full of Red Bull, 5 new downloads that came out just today. Any other man might regret it, pour someone and sing a sad song. But I got my pizza, recliner and trackball, and I'll be fragging newbies all night long. Hell yes! All I wanna do is play games. All I wanna do is play games. No touch, no bells, no legal claims. Just all I wanna do is play games. Yeah, all I wanna do is play games. All I wanna do is play
All right, so if you're John, who's Pete?
Okay. I'd written a bunch of the scripts for the TV show, and in the TV show, I have a coffee machine, and it's messing up. So the lead engineer goes and straps on an AI thing to help improve the coffee machine taking orders and filling orders to get it right. Well, then I start having the coffee machine have downtime, and it starts thinking on its own. And one of the things it does is it starts a band and starts making songs. That's the reaction that I get from everybody.
Oh,
And-
Perky Pete, because he's percolating coffee.
He's a percolator, yes. Yes, he's a
wow.
coffee machine.
I'm embarrassed it took me that long to get it. Okay.
So, yeah, so everybody loved the character Perky Pete that I wrote, and the other characters are good, but they're kind of bland compared to him. Every single person who I talked to focused on what are you going to do with this coffee machine? I mean, it's a coffee machine, right? And I said, well, at some point it's probably going to want to be an employee. You know, the coffee machine is going to go, well, I'm serving a purpose at this company. I should be getting a salary. And, you know, and the coffee machine brings HR into the whole thing and goes, you need to trace me like other people. So anyway, so just a lot of fun, really funny situations that come across for them. So I thought it would be funny to have him be the leader of the band and have him writing songs based on what he's overhearing from what other people are, saying. Well, because he's in the lunchroom, and that's when people talk about stuff, and so he draws from that and does things. So it's kind of a fun little premise.
That's really cool. So how far along in the process are you with this TV show?
Well, I actually had an issue. My wife died last October.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. It just slowed me down a few months, and I had planned on shooting next summer, but I now basically, because I'm basically about 3 months behind, while I was dealing with stuff back in early part of the year. So now my goal is to be shooting by 2028 summer,
Okay.
and the show would be live around the 2029 January kind of time frame. But I need to, in the meantime, I need to raise money to get it made. I need to hire actors. I need to build a place to, for the office thing, or I need to find an office that's already that I can shoot in.
I'm sure there's empty office space you can use. I don't recommend building an office building.
Well,
there's
the one
cheaper
thing,
ways to do it.
Yeah, no, I understand completely. But the one problem with that is that I'll have all this equipment and stuff, and making sure that it's all good. And is there a place to hang lights and stuff?
Yeah.
Because you have to have a pretty high ceiling to deal with that and stuff. So I don't know. Right now everything's on the table in terms of what is it actually going to look like. But as you had experience with, you gather your resources, and then when you're day one to shoot, that's whatever you got is what you shoot with, and that's what you do. So I'm in that mode. So I've done it before. I actually had a couple award-winning short films.
Oh, nice.
That I did years ago. And that's what made me think I could actually do this, because I did a short film and it just turned out really well. It did win a bunch of awards, including there's a film channel that won best cinematography on that and some other things. So, and
nice.
It just encouraged me. And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So
that's really cool. Where are you based?
Yeah. I'm in Michigan.
Michigan. Okay.
Yeah. Ann Arbor, if you know the specific, University of Michigan is there.
Okay.
So yeah.
Is there a big film scene out there, or are you going to try to do this either in New York or LA?
I'm going to do everything based here in Michigan. We're gonna do that. My goal is to draw from the locals.
Mm-hmm.
One of our locals is Jeff Daniels.
Nice.
And yeah. I don't think we're going to get him to be in the show, but he might help us at least with some references and things. And because he actually created a theater in Chelsea, Michigan, which is next door to Ann Arbor. And he built a theater, and he raises money and hires people in Michigan to work in Michigan. So he's trying to do the same kind of thing that I am. So I have a feeling that if I contact him, somebody's going to listen. I won't immediately get the door shut on me.
Yeah.
So,
hey, you never know. If you don't ask, the answer is automatically no. So
yeah, absolutely. So, and we're trying to do comedy. So, and he's a big fan of comedy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, this sounds like a fantastic idea, and I'm all for it.
Sure. Well, it'll be fun because it's got a lot of quirky characters, and the biggest thing I've got is, like I did with my short film, there's nobody above me to say, no, you can't do that.
Yes.
And that was my biggest thing in the game industry was I created some great stuff, and almost always there was somebody above me who turned it into less successful than it could have been. I did one game where they said, okay, we're going to make this game free to play. And I was like, well, if everybody can play for free, then nobody's going to pay for it. And they went, well, they'll buy other stuff, the peripheral stuff. And I was like, that's crazy. You're nuts. And then it turned out they were nuts. When the game finally shipped, it made no money. Even though it was the most popular game on the platform. People played it a lot. They just didn't have to pay for it. So
yeah, the free to play games, there's a science to the in-app purchases and what people will pay for and stuff. And it's there's a whole like there's a whole marketing scheme behind it. Like they know what people will pay for. So like I play this Disney Solitaire game all the time, and I have never paid a dime to this game, but like it's constantly trying to get me to, you know, buy this bonus pack, and that'll get you more of these things over here, which will get you these more power-ups and stuff like that. And a couple of times it's been tempting, but I'm like, I really don't want to spend the money. But I know that this is the type of like gambling mentality that there are people out there who have probably spent thousands of dollars on this game. You know, I can guarantee it.
Yeah, they call those games freemium games.
Freemium,
because
yes.
Yeah. I've played the Disney Emoji Blitz game, and I've played Angry Birds 2, and both of those have that kind of stuff, and I will admit, yes, I've spent money on them. I did hit a point where I realized, like, okay, I need to stop spending the money, you know, and which basically made me decide, like, you know what, I'm just not going to play the games anymore unless I'm in this specific situation where I'm extraordinarily bored and there's nothing else I can do, because it turned into another way they hook you besides the freemium thing is it's like they want you to play at least once every like 24 hours.
Yep.
So they're like, oh, come back in the next day so that you can continue to get your daily blah blah blah, because if you miss the streak then you'd have to pay us more
over.
gems or whatever to so like I was going to bed every night and probably spending an hour playing both of those games just to make sure that I could, you know, be on top of all that stuff, and losing sleep and potentially losing money. And eventually I was like, okay, I have to stop. You know, this is money I could be spending on Transformers, goddammit, what the fuck?
Yep. Yeah, the Disney Solitaire game, it gives you a daily reward if you play every day of different power-ups and different, you know, gold coin, because it costs, you know, their fake in-game money in order to play a hand. And it also gives you a bonus of X number of coins every hour. So if you log in every hour, you get extra money to play the game with. So
Wow.
Well, I'm going to date myself a little bit here and tell you that the game that I played was Farmville. And my wife got so upset at me because I actually spent money on the game. And then about a month later, she's like, can we spend some money on the game? Because she was playing it as well. So she wanted to upgrade her farm. And it's funny. It's like once you do a little bit of the math, you realize it's gonna take me like 6 months to get to the next level, or I can just pay them $10 right now and, and I'm up a level. There you go. So yeah, but the game that I did for Sony was nothing like it was not designed to be a free to play game. One of the big things you can do for free to play games is the free players are cannon fodder for the paid players.
yeah.
So all of a sudden that it's like, well, they're free to play, yeah, but they make the game better by showing up, because then the people who paid have target practice, you know, and that. But this game was not meant to do that kind of stuff, so it had no ability to draw. But the problem is that free to play was on, and freemium was on every magazine cover at the time.
Yeah,
so they were like, this is the future of gaming. And I went, no, it's not. It used to be called shareware, and that died.
I've done some video game development myself. In fact, I still have 2 games unfinished that I need to finish at some point. And I did my share of shareware back in the 90s. And it's funny because, like, long story short, I had to go through a whole bunch of old paperwork to try to find the survey for our house, which I found, which I'm happy about. But in the process, I found paperwork from the 90s in some of this stuff, and in the early 2000s. And in one of my shareware games, this is early internet days, I had people that when the game created like a random serial number, they had to like send me that, and then I decoded it and sent them the registration number to unlock the full features of the software. And I don't remember this at all, but I found like 12 or 13 physical envelopes of people who wrote me a letter with their serial number on it and their email address so that I could send it back. And I was like, could they not email me that information? Like, I don't remember this at all, but I mean,
Sure.
I did it apparently. And, you know, I sold, you know, that software actually did fairly well, but like, it's so weird, like the way things do like that. But the 2 games I have in production now are going to be free to play, but one of them is going to be free to play up to a certain level, and then it's just not going to let you play any farther. The other one has 4 areas to explore. One of them is going to be free, and then you can pay to unlock each of the others. So if you like the first section, you can buy the others. If you don't, you can not play it. You know, I can't bring myself to do the gambling thing, which is what the solitaire game I play is doing, where you try to hook people and you try to get them to give you a little bit of money every time. I'm not enough of a douchebag to put that in my software. You know, I can't do it.
Agreed. Yeah, I would agree with that. It's just funny. One of the things that I'm going to point out in my TV show is that there's these people who are in charge of companies who are making games. And one of the things I did was I moved 2,000 miles from Michigan to Las Vegas to work for a game company. Mm-hmm. And I got there and I started working for them, and I realized they don't know anything more than the rest of us. They're just regular people, just like the rest of us.
Yep. That's what Steve Jobs always said is like, once you realize that the people who did the most amazing things in society are not any smarter than you are, you're unstoppable.
Yes. And I am so geeked about being right now in the seat where I get to make all the decisions, and nobody can stop me. So for the first time.
Nobody says no. You can make an ass of yourself. It'll be great.
Yes, I can release an album of songs before the TV show's even made.
You can release the soundtrack before the album comes out.
There you go. It's going to be great.
The one flaw in your plan of creating the music to promote the TV show is that now you have to promote the music. And so now you have 2 things to promote instead of 1.
Yeah, well, it'll be fun. I have a bunch of little stuff that I want to do with music that'll be good. Well, plus, I mean, we've got the next song that I've already scheduled up, or I've sent in to you guys, in that, which is a female response to the song. So it should be that's. I've done some releasing out into the world, and that has been one of the big positive responses they've gotten, is having the 2 songs against each other.
Yeah. Answer songs tend to do pretty well.
So it's so funny because the thought of it came from all the back in the 60s and 70s when they would do the one song and then they would do the answer song. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I want to do one of those. And this seemed like the natural one to do. It's like, all I want to do is play games. All he wants to do is play games. It seemed natural.
Yep.
So got that coming in the future.
Cool. All right. So we're going to move on to news and tour dates and Steve Goodie's song and stuff. Do you have anything you'd like to plug?
No, the song, I just worked, hard on it, and I just hope good things. That's it,
Cool. All right. One thing I would suggest is for the TV show to plug the show is maybe set up an Instagram. It might be too early for that, but I recently auditioned for a show that they are trying to get picked up, and I looked, and they already have an Instagram page with like 10,000 followers, but people who are interested in seeing the show made. So I don't know if that can help in any way, but keep it in mind for the future.
Absolutely. Good information. I will do it with that.
All right. Are you going to stick around for the rest of the show, or are you going to take off?
Sure. I can hang out.
Okay. Steve Goodie's song is really short, and he's not here, so.
I can kibitz because I will comment freely.
Please do. All right, let's do some news.
This is the FuMP.
Let's not fight about Star Trek. I don't care which one is the best. This incessant need to rank and seed just makes me wanna scream. So
Finish with some letters with some stuffing in the package. Better eat it quick and don't forget to place aboard the cabbage.
Leftover pizza. Leftover time.
Stegosaurus, your silhouette is colossal. Out of all of the fossils, I dig you the most.
That's the Funny Music Project at thefump.com. THEFUMP.com.
Cause I'm just the uncle, and my role is pretty clear. Dirty diapers and I'm out of here.
Time for funny music news. Something, something, something.
I'm sorry, something just opened on my computer, and I don't know what the hell it is. Wondershare Filmora. I don't know what that is. All right, I'm going to close
Azarath Metreon Zinthos.
Exactly. Like, what? I must have pushed something, or I don't know. Anyway, in the news, Ruben Valtierra has announced he will be returning to finish out Al's tour. He didn't give any details about the treatment for his cancer or anything, but he did say, "Thank you all for sending me so much love during the past 3 months. It has helped my cause more than you will ever know. I leave in a couple of days. I hope you don't mind me playing at all hours over the next couple of days, for I won't have access to a piano until I return in late October. I'll see you out there." So that is very good news that he is healthy enough to be joining Al for the rest of the tour. Speaking of Al, Weird Al performed on NPR on their Tiny Desk series. That concert is now up on YouTube. He did 4 songs with the full band, except for Ruben. He hasn't joined them back yet. Just do a search for Weird Al, NPR, Tiny Desks, something to that effect, and it'll show right up. Lauren Mayer is doing a couple of shows. She's working on a one-woman show to see if she's going to be developing it any further. She says, "This one is about becoming my mother's story, influencing me to become a feminist, snarky, satirical songwriter who comments on reproductive rights." There are 2 shows, one on tomorrow night, Friday, the August 21st at 7:30 p.m., and the other show is Sunday, August 23rd at 4 p.m., both of those Pacific time. The Sunday show will be streamed, but you need to get tickets in advance. Check out themarsh.org for information and tickets. I haven't heard otherwise, so Insane Ian should be joining us on next week's show to announce the finalist for this year's Logan Awards. So tune in for that. And I have not had a chance to get those needle juice stuff things up in the store yet. So those are still on the floor behind me. Sorry. I'll hopefully do that this week. All right. Luke, you got anything before tour dates?
Yes. So, message from Bonnie Gordon says, "Hey Trekkies, on Sunday, August 23rd at 5 p.m., come enjoy a night of Trek-tastic comedy and music at Flappers Comedy Club. I'll be doing my Hollow Lounge set with some new songs, as well as bringing in some special guests to join in on the fun. Comedy, music, and Star Trek. What more could you need?" So that would be, this Sunday, August 23rd, 5 p.m., Flappers Comedy Club and Restaurant, which is at 102 East Magnolia Boulevard, Burbank, California at 91502. You can get tickets at www.flapperscomedy.com. That's FLAPPERS comedy.com. And yes, I'll be there doing a couple of songs. And since she hasn't released a list of who all else is performing, I don't want to specifically say, because that might be not good. But if one of the people performs like she told me he was going to, it's a person that has this person has had some of their Trek comedy songs on the Dr. Demento show. I'll just say,
Okay.
Not a person part of our FuMP bubble necessarily, but or not at all, I should say. But it's a person out there who has a whole lot of Trek-related funny songs and is, whatever. I'll shut up.
All right, tour dates. Sundays online, 2 Sleeps, last Sunday of each month on Facebook, Lauren Mayer. Mondays online, Steve Goodie and Brad Tassel at virtualcomedyshow.com. This week's musical guest will be Caitlin Evanson. Wednesdays in San Francisco, California, Ben Vicini. Tuesdays through Sundays for the rest of the month in Edinburgh, Scotland, Steve Goodie and Brad Tassel. On the 22nd in Ballston Spa, New York, Drew Jacobs. On the 23rd in Blowing Rock, North Carolina, Matt McLeod. On the 28th in Hickory, North Carolina, Matt McLeod. And on the 30th in Banner Elk, North Carolina, Matt McLeod. All right, birthdays. We got a couple new ones to add to the spreadsheet. So these were from last week. On August 14th, Drew Jacobs. On August 15th, Drumbot. And also on August 15th, Erin Bellavia. So happy birthday, folks.
Yay!
And coming up on the 24th, Matt Griffo.
Griffo!
All right. Second song of the week. New one by Steve Goodie. Here is Jerry Lewis Sings Led Zeppelin, Part 2.
And now, Jerry Lewis sings Led Zeppelin, Part 2. There's a nice lady!
And that's it. That's the whole song. I think that's our shortest FuMP song ever.
Yeah, pretty sure that's the record.
Yeah. I did reach out to Steve. Steve was like, it's a 10-second song. I'm not coming on for a 10-second song. He didn't say it in those words, but that's what how it happened.
And I'm glad he made this track because there were so many unanswered questions from part 1.
Right. So Steve said about life in Edinburgh at the moment, Brad has arrived and we are enjoying making Scott scream, "I will walk 500 miles" as if their lives depended on it, and then explaining why every song by Sting has creepy undertones, and then inspiring them to sing Roxanne till they're hoarse, and then getting money from them. So it sounds like things are going well in Edinburgh at the moment. All right, let's do some feedback.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback.
Feedback.
Feedback, you know that segment of the show we do about now?
Feedback. Feedback.
Feedback.
A-Log wrote, "Oh, dang, I think I need a timestamp of where you mentioned it. Does help me out for next Friday, though. Also, I'm amused with the fact that Art Paul looks like a farmer these days. And is that a library he's recording in? And as for Napoleon the 14th and Tom Lehrer, you could consider them legacy members of the FuMP." I don't know if that was a library or a church. I know he often comes to us from the basement of a church. So I think
I thought it was a library. But
that might be a library, though. So yeah, I'm not sure. And Michigan Heart wrote, "You missed a Spider-Man song," and then he links to "Spider-Man Has Arachnophobia" by Silly Nelson. In my defense, that song is not on Spotify, so it is on the FuMP Sideshow if you'd like to listen to it, though. All right, that's all the feedback we got. So.
Teasing. He's a teasing kind of guy. Now you have a job.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's song is by Happy Ron. And Tuesday's song is by Sulu. And this week's Spotify playlist topic, I was going to suggest video games, since this song is video game adjacent.
We'll be sure to play the song "Video Games" by Tenacious D.
I will do that. Any other must-haves on your list? My Atari has to go on there. Pac-Man, various Pac-Man
I've got a
games.
bone by Dan Bull.
I've got a bone by... What's that about?
Minecraft.
Oh, okay.
Peaches by Jack Black.
Oh, yes.
Also, Steve's Lava Chicken by Jack Black, which is short, but yeah.
Okay. I know there's plenty. There's lots of video. Oh,
Six medleys by Insane Ian.
Right, yeah.
Or just Dungeon Castlevania.
Oh, yeah. That's the winner. That's the winner right there.
Yeah.
Dungeon Castlevania. What was I just thinking about? Oh, I got to see if 2600 by Positude is on Spotify.
My parents bought me in television.
Yep.
Put that back to back with my Atari.
Yep. And actually, I'm wearing my Positude shirt. See?
Ah, sweet. Did you see that they're actually going to put out like a new Intellivision console that looks like the classic console with wireless controllers that are like the old controllers with the disc and everything?
I did not, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, and it comes with like, I don't know, whatever, 50 or 100 Intellivision games in it already preloaded. Like, I want that so bad.
Do the controllers actually, are they the right controllers for the games? I never had an Intellivision, so I don't know if it had different controllers or whatnot.
The way it worked is like, it kind of looked like a phone with like the 12 buttons, like a phone pad, and then there was this disc at the bottom, and there was a thing that you would slide these little plastic things over the phone button pad, so it would tell you like what button on the phone pad did what thing. So it's going to come with all these games preloaded, and it's going to come with all of the slidey things you need if you want to put them in and play it that way. So they're really going all out with it.
Okay. No, the reason I ask is because they've done a dozen of these like retro Atari systems, and they screwed up every single one of them. Because the Atari had different controllers for different games. They had joysticks for some games and paddles for other games. You cannot play Kaboom with a joystick. You can't. It doesn't work. No. It drives me freaking nuts. I'm like, have a system with a joystick with the joystick games. Have another system with the paddle games. Do that. It's not a hard problem to solve, people.
I love the fact that with, like, they really like kind of went nuts with this when the Switch 2 launch was Nintendo started putting a whole lot more games from their classic systems up, but they also started releasing for you to buy the classic handles that plug into the Switch 2. So if you want to play a GameCube game, you can buy their GameCube controller that works with the Switch 2 so that you're actually you wouldn't have to like readjust to the new controller or whatever. So,
that was actually pretty smart, I think, because like a lot of those games, like the controls are a big part of it, because like I was trying to play Banjo-Kazooie or Banjo-Tooie, I forget which is a Nintendo 64 game. And I just, with the Switch controls, even with the Pro Controller, like I just couldn't get the hang of it. But with the N64 controller, it was so natural, because the game is designed for the N64 controller, so you really need that controller. Anyway, we're getting off topic, as we do. All right. So I'll find some more video game songs for the playlist. All right. John, do you have a website or anything you can direct people to, or?
I'm in the middle of building it. The company that I'm building is called Gatebreaker Studios. And so if you go to gatebreakerstudios.com, it's there, but it's in pieces. So I'm just building it now. So
okay.
I mean, the problem is just there's like 500 things to do, and I'm trying to keep up with each one. So all of them are a little ragged at the moment.
Again, DIY.
Right? Yep.
There you go.
Yep. Yeah, but I don't know anything about that. No, I don't have 7 projects with deadlines coming up in the next 2 weeks. No, not me. All right. Steve Goodie's at stevegoodie.com. Right now he is in Edinburgh at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. All right, let's get out of here. Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice.
I'm Luke Ski, and look, there's John, a.k.a. Pete or something.
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast. You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at DementiaRadio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of Fidem Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, shout it to random people on the street, and be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say,
I don't know, Lloyd, the French are assholes.